Hey hustlers, Miles here. Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I want to share the top 4 books that I believe have changed my life. Let's get into it. So welcome back to Hustle Endeavor. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you like this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I help entrepreneurs build long-term successful income streams online for more money, more freedom, and a better future. And currently we're working on building our Etsy stores up. So if you need help with that, please subscribe. And quickly, before we get started, in case you haven't heard, I'm going to be hosting a series of advanced, intensive group workshops. And I'm going to be covering all the advanced strategies and tactics I'm doing right now to grow my business on Etsy. It's going to contain all of my best stuff. It's going to be absolutely amazing. The goal of these workshops is to really accelerate your success with your Etsy store and get you to that next level as fast as humanly possible. However, since these workshops are going to be at a much more intensive and more intimate level that I'm going to be working with you, I'm looking for a small group of students who want to invest in themselves and take their business further and to the next level. So if you want any chance of getting into this, you're going to want to put yourself on the early bird waiting list, and you'll be notified before the remaining spots go live to the public. Okay, so if that's something you want to be a part of, that's something you're interested in, links in the description below this video. And in the meantime, while you wait, I've got a completely free 1-hour Etsy masterclass that you can sign up to now. The feedback I've been getting from people going through that one has been awesome. And to view that, links in beneath this video as well. Anyway, let's get into the video. So I'm a huge proponent of investing in yourself. You know, as the famous quote goes, the more you learn, the more you earn. And one of the easiest ways to invest in yourself and your future is simply by just reading books. When I was growing up, honestly, I never saw the benefit of reading. I thought it was just something you needed to do to get through school. However, since I've actually started, I've seen massive improvements in my overall life. My mentality has completely changed, and I truly do believe that reading books is a major part of me getting to where I am today. So I've read dozens of books now. I try to read at least 3 to 4 books a month, and out of all the books I've read, there have been a few that I believe that have had a dramatic impact on me, and I want to share these books with you on today's quick video, so hopefully they can help you on your journey too. Anyway, let's get into it. So if any of you have been following the channel for a while now, you'll probably have heard me mention this first book before, and that is of course Goals by Brian Tracy. This book, hands down, started this whole adventure for me. I can actually remember the time I was actually recommended this book. I remember I was working at sort of a dead-end job at a call center, and I was just deeply unhappy at the time. I didn't really have a real purpose, I felt. I suppose I felt a bit like a failure. All my friends from uni were doing well. They'd all sort of gotten jobs at kind of advertising agencies and good marketing jobs. And I was kind of just sort of stuck in this job, sort of doing this to kind of pay the bills. Anyway, at the time, there was someone at this company I was working at that was absolutely killing it at sales. He was so good that he only needed to work for half the year. And one day I bumped into him in the lunch area, and I asked him what his secret was. And I remember he sort of pulled out these sets of kind of cards, cutouts or whatever, and on each cutout it had sort of his goals. And he said the reason why he was so successful was because he set goals and he would read these goals to himself every day. Initially, I was thinking that this is just like a whole load of mumbo jumbo, but he recommended me this book called Goals, and because I was desperate for a change in my life at the time, I decided to read it. And to cut a long story short, this book essentially teaches you a simple kind of system for how to set and achieve your goals in your life. And the first goal, you probably can guess, I set for myself was I wanted to quit my job and work for myself. And that's where I believe the adventure started. Since then, I set goals in all aspects of my life, and I try to monitor that daily. So, if you're looking for some motivation, or you're kind of in a place in your life right now where perhaps you feel a bit lost, you feel kind of stuck, then I definitely recommend this book. That's Goals by Brian Tracy. The second book that has had a big impact on me is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Apart from being, a great motivational book that will really motivate you to get after it, when I read this book, it actually made me realize that my goals weren't big enough. It made me sort of think, what would happen if I'd set my goals higher? I think the big takeaway, I got from reading this book is that you should always aim higher than your main goal. A bit like that term, shoot for the moon and you'll hit the stars. You should always work towards goals 10 times greater than your original goals. And by doing this, doing all the things you'll need to do to reach that bigger goal, all the actions you'll have to take, you'll thereby hit your original goal. Great book. Definitely worth picking up if you can. That's the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. The third book is Think and Grow Rich by an author named Napoleon Hill. Now, this book was actually written quite a while ago. I think it was published in, the late 1937 or 38, something like that. And the author interviewed over 40 millionaires and, all the things they did to achieve their success. And he kind of discovered a pattern or things that all of these successful people had done. And he kind of shares all these different things over the course of this book. And, one chapter that really stood out to me was about faith and self-confidence and having the confidence, in what you're doing and, how important that is to achieving success. So, if you haven't read it and you're looking, to be successful and you'd like to learn the traits of, the most successful people, then it's definitely worth a read. That was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So the fourth and final book on this list is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's one of the most popular finance books of all time. And the book basically is, about two father figures in his life and their attitudes towards money. And the advice his rich dad gave him, who I believe was his father's friend or his friend's father or something like that, was completely different to the advice his actual real father who didn't have much money. This was actually another book that was recommended, to me. And, this book really changed my beliefs and my attitudes, towards money, especially around, popular thinking about, what is an asset and what is, a liability. Definitely worth a read. And that is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. There you have it, guys. All these books I would greatly recommend. All of these books have had a great impact on my life, and I'd recommend them if you want to invest in yourself and your future. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. And again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I am going to be hosting a series of live intensive group workshops, designed to accelerate your success with your Etsy store. I'm super excited about this. So, if you're interested in that, then make sure you get on the early bird waiting list, as I'm only looking to do this with a handful of students due to, the more personal and intimate nature of these workshops. So if this sounds like something that would interest you, make sure you put your name on that early bird waiting list below this video. So, again, please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. And, let me know in the comments section if you have any books that you would recommend or have had a big impact in your life. I'd love to see them. Keep hustling, and I'll see you in the next one.